Welcome to the MSP Corner podcast. Before we kick off our show, we would like to share what our main objective is at the MSP Corner. Our main goal is to help CEOs build profitable and self-sustainable IT service firms. We are not just providing tools for IT firms, we will be sitting in meetings with you to ensure your IT firm stays on track. The first area we are focused on, strategic sales. IT firms are stuck selling technology or IT support. We will provide you with the blueprint so you position your firm as an added value to your prospects. We will have framework on how to sell value so you influence the prospect into selecting your firm. The second area we see many IT firms struggle in is marketing. 90+% of businesses rely on antiquated marketing methods. The most popular choice, word of mouth. We have proven methods on how to attract the ideal prospect. Our framework will include how to become the online authority and be the business influencer for an industry. The third component to our package, scaling. IT firms walk away from opportunities because they lack the bandwidth or skill set to scale. We have lined up reputable businesses so our members can hire on-demand resources that will allow them to scale their business. The fourth area we will offer help in, selecting the right tools. In order to deliver value, you need the right tech stack. Our platform will offer information on products that are the ideal choice for MSPs. The fifth area we will offer help in is with documentation. Templates are a critical component when building an MSP. We will have contracts, proposals, SOWs, collateral, and much more in the template section. You will have every document you need to start up your managed IT service business. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go to our next podcast.
I am your host, Fernando Leon, and I'm joined by my co-host, Gregory Morabietz. And today's topic, well, we're going to do a deep dive in cold calling because it's a popular topic. I get a lot of requests on what it takes to have a successful campaign. So we're going to do a little in-depth today. So today's show is technically called In-Depth Cold Calling Discussion. So let's, before we start, I have to go over the agenda so you guys are prepared for what we're going to discuss. Like always, we're going to have an introduction. And, well, these are the topics: value proposition, research, a compelling opening, objections, setting the appointment, leverage, metrics, follow-up, invest, training. We always have a conclusion, and then we give you a quick plug on what we're trying to achieve over here at the MSP Corner. All right, so let me get into the introduction just real quick, just so you guys get an idea of what we're going to be discussing. But cold calling, it's still to this day is a powerful tool for MSPs that are targeting, and I'm going to emphasize SMBs. Will this work with? Will the best script work calling into an enterprise? I very doubtful. SMBs, yes. And we're talking very specific numbers. We're not going to be like, oh, we're not going to give you a vague answer of like, oh, SMB will work. No, we're going to say I wouldn't call into an office that had more than 50 employees. So anything between 5 and 50 employees, you guys are you're going to have some great conversions. So let me just continue on with what we're going to be discussing, because the goal when you're making cold call is to set appointments and really to showcase your expertise in IT support and other value that you have to offer. But in order to stand out, you need a direct, assertive approach that highlights your unique value while addressing common objections like lack of interest, or existing provider relationships. Today's talking points are designed to help you craft a cold calling strategy that not only resonates with SMBs, but also conversions into actionable appointments. So let's get into this. I keep getting distracted over here, but here we go. What does it mean? The first topic was value proposition. You got to craft a clear value proposition. Nobody cares what service you offer. Nobody cares how many years you've been in business. Nobody cares who you are, what your name is, what the name of your company is. And I'm going to give you guys an example of what, how you highlight your expertise in, let's say, security and compliance. I love security and compliance because it's such a hot topic right now. And you need to frame it as an ideal solution that, there's it's just a common challenge with SMBs, like obviously data breaches, and if it's a regulated industry, they have regulatory headaches. So here's an example. We specialize in keeping SMBs compliant and protected from threats that could cost your business millions. Now, I'm not saying this is your opening, but do you see how in that sentence I never say, "Hey, I provide IT services. I solve technical problems and security problems." No, I do not. We specialize in keeping SMBs protected. If they feel unprotected, or if they feel like there's a vulnerability, or if they're vulnerable and they can be easily compromised, it's going to and it's going to help you engage with the individual. So the next topic I want to bring up is researching your industry, right? Or sorry, researching the industry you want to target. Because before calling anybody, you need to research a specific industry and any public facing IT challenges. So you need to tailor your pitch to their specific pain points, such as security, disaster recovery. Let's say you're in Miami. Disaster recovery is an absolute requirement out there because of just, natural, just the all the hurricanes they go through out there. But a lot of organizations have security breaches, or there's specific industries that have a huge target on their backs. So do your research. You need to understand their pain points, their biggest challenges, and that's going to help you determine or craft up a an ideal script. And this is where the MSP corner will be a great fit for many of you, because yeah, I'm targeting, sure, the medical industry because they're, security and HIPAA compliance, right? We have great scripts for that. But some of you, legal, there's no compliance issues there. Let's say accounting firms, no compliance. They don't have any compliance. Construction, neither one of those industries have any issues with regulatory, but you would still want to create a specific value proposition, what their pain points are. And since Gregory and I have been doing this for almost 25 years, we know quite a bit. So Greg, just pitch in if you have anything you want to add to the topic as we dive into this. But this is where the MSP corner is going to bring value to your IT service firm. You guys need guidance. You guys need mentoring. And this is, if you feel like cold calling is going to help you get to that next level, because it can help you get some quick W's. You can get into some quick accounts. Sales cycles are very, very short with these size of organizations. So cold calling can be a great fit for many of you. All right. So what's a compelling opening? Well, I wrote up some examples here because you want to start with a strong attention grabbing introduction. So here's an example. Hi, Tom. I notice SMBs in your industry are struggling with security and compliance. How are you currently managing these type of challenges in your business? Right? I skipped all niceties. I didn't introduce myself. Who cares who I am? The prospect only cares about their time and their business and their challenges. They can give a rat's butt about who you are and that you provide tech support. Big whoop-de-doo. You're there to expose their challenges. The ultimate goal is to say something that's going to grab their attention. So you got to have a compelling opening. You got to have that hook. It's the hook. We call it the hook. So what are you going to say that's going to grab their attention? And let me just give everybody a heads up right now. Majority majority of the time they're going to say no. So be ready for rejection. Be ready. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're going to get a lot of no's. You're not going to hit a home run every time. The goal here is to engage, get their attention, and schedule an appointment. That's the only thing you're there to do because you're going the sales process will help you win the business. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But here, remember, create a compelling opening. And I'm going to create a 3-minute video this week, so and I'll publish it for you guys, but we'll be talking about this in more detail, and you guys can leave me questions or send me emails, but let's continue moving on. Handling objections strategically. So let's say somebody has a lack of interest. So because many SMBs, because you can respond with many SMBs I speak with initially feel the same, but once we discuss the growing compliance and security risks in their industry, they see the value in a quick consultation. Could we schedule a meeting? Right? Or how about if they have an existing provider? Hey, that's great to hear. I'm happy to hear that you're being taken care of. And many of our clients came to us looking for additional layers of security their previous provider didn't offer, right? Or maybe it's not a non-regulated industry and you can say, hey, does your provider uh, offer on-site services in other states? Or do they have, maybe you provide an expertise for that specific industry that could potentially pique their interest. So but this is something you guys have to think about. If you're going to target a specific industry, you're going to have to think about the value and how you're going to differentiate yourself from other providers. Because there's going to be, let me just give you a heads up right now. There's going to be so much objections, so much rejection. Okay. Imagine being at a high school dance and you're asking every girl to dance and everybody's saying no. You're going to eventually get a yes. Okay. Not everybody's going to say yes to you. So just you got to have this type of attitude and confidence that exudes that you're just impervious to rejection. Okay. So you got to always remember to stay positive and to continue moving on because let me tell you, practice makes perfect. All right. So remember this is very important. This is a very important note. You gotta focus on setting the appointment. You're not selling, you're not pitching, you're not even introducing your services. You're just setting an appointment. They have a pain point. Hey, we have somebody that can come in and talk to you about how we can solve that problem for you. The goal isn't to sell your services on the spot, but to secure time for a deeper conversation. So an example would be something along the lines like, would it be worth 15 minutes to explore how we've helped SMBs in your space cut IT overhead by 30%? Or how we've helped SMBs in your industry stay secure and compliant, right? Or if you're in Miami or somewhere with natural disasters, How would it be worth 15 minutes to explore how we've helped SMBs um, uh, with their business continuity plan, right? Business continuity strategy, right? They didn't miss any downtime because of hurricanes. Their clients were still able to buy their products. They were able to order products. They were able to get their services, whatever. Remember, you guys have access to Gregory and I because at the MSP corner, this is why we developed the MSP corner is to solve little problems like this, come up with how to overcome objections, how to come up with. We have scripts today that we're going to be giving away, right, to help you guys get new business, but you got to be an MSP Corner member. All right. Next, leverage urgency and FOMO. FOMO means, do you know what FOMO means, Greg?
Fear of missing out.
That's right. Many teenagers have that. Many young adults have that. But you need to create urgency by emphasizing the risks of non-compliance or, let's say, potential data breaches. So, and a good example would be cyber attacks targeting SMBs have increased by 40% this year, right? Uh, re- Being very specific with timelines is going to help you sound legitimate and will build credibility. And close with, many businesses in your space aren't prepared. Are you confident your systems are secure? So remember, again, we to create urgency on a call, if you've gone that deep with the prospect, is a great sign. So you want to create as much interest as possible, because I can assure you the call is not going to last more than tops 5 minutes. Okay. Because it is a cold call. It's an unexpected call. There, my day is planned every day to the hour, every hour. And if I have time, I will take a cold call. And sometimes I critique the individual. I give them some tips because I get a lot of cold calls. Greg, how many cold calls do you get a week?
10.
10? Yeah, I get about 5.
2 a day.
And yeah, okay, that's not bad for you. That's not bad. I get 1 a day. And sometimes if I'm in the mood, I'll give them some tips. So, all right, we're getting to the end here. And one of the most important things is tracking and optimizing metrics. So you guys need tools to log your calls. You need to monitor conversion rates, and you need to analyze which approaches work best. Test different opening scripts and rebuttals, because you want to refine your strategy. And if you plan on doing this like I did for 10 years, you're going to want to keep track of what works and what doesn't work. All right. So here's a really funny note, because this next pointer is something that I had 20 follow up. I counted the amount of times I followed up with this one company, and it was 20 times. And we finally got a meeting, which is actually scheduled for tomorrow. And they're like, we've got a huge opportunity. We need your help. And I'm like, hey, we're here. Let's have a call. So pair your calls with follow up emails or even LinkedIn connections. Because what the goal is to stay on their radar. Because if you're going to be connected with them on LinkedIn, you're going to ask them to follow your company, follow you, because you're the type of person that not only produces content that solves that industry specific problems, but when they're following your organization and you produce a newsletter for your LinkedIn followers, guess what? Guess who gets that newsletter? They do, because they're going to read about, hey, we've got did you know that the medical industry had lost $40 billion in from hackers last year, or whatever, right? You want to provide them with value, something of education. So you want to include, you know, resources or statistics that reinforce your MSP's value. So if you're either sending them an email, following up on our call, here's a case study, right? Send a case study on how we helped a similar business in your industry improve their security strategy, their disaster recovery policies, their business continuity policies, right? So you want to continue engaging your audience, whether it's through newsletters or you having a tickler set up. So you give them, you send them an email every quarter saying, hey, are you still happy with your current provider? Last time we spoke, your CEO is the IT service department. His time is much more valuable than us. Is he ready to explore how we can help you guys improve your IT operations? All right. Next up is a script. You need to invest in a script, but you need to stay flexible, right? And one of the things you also need to invest in is a list. It's like magic numbers don't magically appear from out of thin air. You got to make a determination that, okay, if you're going, there's plenty of services out there that provide you with email. And if you reach out to me, I can point you in the right direction where they give you a quality list that includes email, the phone number, and I'm going to highly recommend that you target a specific industry and you target every executive in that organization, because we don't have the luxury. We're not selling a sexy CRM tool where we know that the sales or the VP of sales is making a decision for the CRM tool. We don't have that luxury. We don't know who the decision maker is for the IT budget. So I'm going to encourage you target every executive at the organization. Now, when it comes to the script, you got to develop a structured script that covers key points, mainly your value proposition, right? And how to handle an objection. So be prepared to adapt based on the conversation's flow. Be a good listener. You want to also keep, you don't want to sound like a robot, right? You don't want to sound like, oh, they can tell. When I get cold calls, I can tell if they're reading off a script. They sound like a robot. There's no excitement in their voice. They sound very monotone. And I mean, if I'm calling into somebody, I'm always smiling. I sound happy. I sound excited. I don't want to sound like a crazy clown or somebody who is insane, but you want to sound like you're excited of what you have to offer. You're a happy person. Okay. So just remember that. You don't want to sound crazy, but you also want to sound happy. So if that makes sense to all of you, great. If it doesn't, send me an email. I'll help you out. Now, if you have a team in place and you're like, okay, we're going to follow Fernando's script. We've got the script. It was a free script. And we're going to be listening to Fernando's podcast. And one of his tips is if you have it, you got to, your team needs to be confident, right? They need to be well versed in your MSP services. They need to understand there's going to be common objections. They need to understand the target audience pain points, right? How you solve them. So role playing scenarios can help build confidence. You gotta sound, I was saying earlier, you gotta sound happy. Well, the other thing you need to sound is confident. You gotta sound confident. There's just no way around it. We are in a world where we are surrounded by the enemy. You guys have so many enemies out there. There's so many IT service firms. What makes you different? What are you going to do to make your prospect believe that not only are you credible, you're trustworthy, you're happy, you're confident, right? There's so many check boxes to check off. You guys need to train your teams, and Gregory and I are happy to sit down with you guys and tell you this. Okay? So And one thing to keep in mind, you got to practice this script. You're not going to be reading from a script. Memorize that script. And it doesn't have to make the script your own. Just because I give you a script doesn't mean that, oh, I got to follow Fernando's script to the letter. No. Don't no. We're making this your own. Okay. If I say, hello, Tom, your industry is in constant attack, right? You can have a completely different opening as long as it's around the same value proposition. All right. All right. We're coming to the end here because this is my conclusion. Because, like I was saying earlier, a successful cold calling campaign is about more than just dialing numbers. You're building trust. You're demonstrating value. And during these calls, you're going to have a lot of rejection. So you got to be ready to overcome objections with confidence. By leveraging your MSP strengths and security and compliance and your expertise in reducing IT costs, tailoring your message to SMB pain points, and you also need to remember you got to follow up and be consistent. You can significantly improve your conversion rates and appointment setting success if you follow up. And I don't mean by following up the following week. Do not be an annoyance. Do not be unprofessional. Listen to your prospects. If they say, hey, you know what? I have somebody in place. Great. I'm glad you're being taken care of. Can I check in with you next quarter? Well, next quarter might be too soon. Call me in 6 months. Okay. Make a note to call back in 6 months. Do not call sooner. Do not call later. Call within 6 months. All right. And cold calling is just the first step. It's the connections you're going to nurture afterward that turn prospects into loyal clients. Remember that. All right. What is the MSP Corner? What are we all about? Well, we're on a mission to deliver valuable content to our members. And Gregory and I, we're founders of an MSP. We've been doing this for almost 25 years. We know the struggles many of you go through. And the platform we've developed will be designed to help guide you guys through challenging times. So we want to offer frameworks that solve that marketing puzzle, the selling challenges, because we're in the business of selling value. We don't sell tech support, we sell value. Plus, we're lining up resources. If you have a budget and you need a cold calling partner, hey, we're going to have them there. We're going to have them on our platform. Right? For outbound campaigns, SEO, PPC, and much, much more. All right, Greg, any last words you want to add before I close this out?
No, you did well. Yeah, you did
All
well.
right. All right, guys, thanks for listening. And don't forget to sign up to be a member on the MSP Corner. We're at mspcorner.com. Please share our link with the CEO who will find our information beneficial to their business. Thanks again. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to sign up to be a member on www.mspcorner.com. Please share our link with the CEO who will find our information beneficial to their business. Have an awesome day.